Oh, I'm so nervous. No, I'm not. Maybe I am. Thank you for being patient as we wait for the broadcast to be published. The bar is inching along. And we're live. Good day, everybody. My name is Todd Standing. I'm the man who takes people out into the field and has them either live interact with our eyewitness to Sasquatch. Thank you very much for tuning in to my highly controversial show. I don't think I'm controversial, but so I didn't go on Facebook like I usually do and ask for some questions, but thank you, Amanda, for sending me one. Roker, R-O-K-U-R. People with these funny names. Hello, Amanda. Mason Sylvanic. Hello, everybody. SoCal Force Ninjas. Whoa, whoa. There's Roker. So apparently I got a question. Roker, you got a little in there with Amanda, man. She's like backdoor texting me stuff. So hello everybody, Central Mississippi. Oh my God, everybody's really killing it today. That's awesome. Oh my gosh, I expect lots of great questions, you guys, today. Let's get if you are a fan of Todd Standing, the controversial man himself, let's ask some serious controversial questions. Let's start out with Roker though. For tonight, a scat squatch, as in scat from Sasquatch, which I think is kind of funny. Although the native people don't like it when you say squatching or use the term in a derogatory way, because to them it's almost like you're dealing with a highly revered species, and the terminology Sasquatch has been bastardized enough. It's actually Sasquatch is the way they would originally pronounce it. This is the Coast Salish people, and I've met with elders, and the term is actually wild master or wild teacher is a more accurate, which is highly respectful. So when you talk about that level, that's why let's go squatching and stuff. I know people mean good, and I would never chastise somebody for just going out with a full heart and being fun and trying to make people smile. It's what I love to do. But I do stop though when it's, Eskimos don't like to be called that, like to be called Inuit. First Nations people prefer that name. I'm very respectful of that stuff. So I like to be called Todd with two D's. Don't call me Todd. Call me Todd. It's a joke. Two D's. I spell it with two D's. Anyways, the excellent question was, they will cover their tracks. Yes, they're sneaky. They cover, because they're trackers. They cover their tracks. And to avoid detection, they cover their tracks. And meat makes fecal matter stink. Agreed. Strongly agreed. Do the perimeter watchers do not eat meat on duty? Good question. Are they careful about where they drop eat leavings? I think he's talking about eat leavings, just little like debris. Little debris and stuff is going to get picked up just by little carnivores like the foxes, and there's not really coyotes. I don't think the Sasquatch like coyotes in their habitat. They chase them out. I've seen that, so I see the coyotes and wolves know the smell of Sasquatch. I've seen wolverines go right through Sasquatch habitat like they don't give a rat's patootie. I think Sasquatch are just kind of cool with them, because wolverines are a very cool creature. They really stick to their own, so they're just a really cool creature. Badgers are okay in Sasquatch habitat. I've seen that. Porcupines are okay. These are little creatures that'll go eat up the meat leavings, but I don't know. I wouldn't speak too much about that. I mean, they'll leave a deer carcass or an elk carcass to be fed on by other animals, obviously. So I recognize the Sasquatch that's a deer or an elk from a Sasquatch, because they snap off the rib bones right off the spine and suck the marrow out of the ends of the spine, the spine part, and then out of the tips of the rib bones. So are they careful about where they drop meat or leavings, or is it possible they're vegetarian, or just males are vegetarian? And my problem is, is 4 times in my life I've found definitive Sasquatch scat. 2 times the trackway was just weird. It's like the Sasquatch really had to go and he was walking funny. He was scratching there were the 2 of the times, I'll tell you, what happened was he kind of went to on both occasions, he went to a little bit of a high ground area, and then he was dragging his feet funny, and then what happened is when he squatted down, the scat, we'll call it, was a long piece like that, and what he did was he slid his feet along as he defecated, so the piece is like long like that. So very interesting. All 4 occasions the piece was long. As a bear or a wolf or even a dog, any animal, when they defecate, it goes in a pile, right? Grizzly bears, it all does that. 4 times the Sasquatch left a log. He just walked, he slid along, and you could see his feet sliding in the trackway. So, not something I've ever talked about. Obviously, an awesome question. So that's part 1 of that. And again, 2 times the Sasquatch was walking weird. Something was like his twisting, his turning, his body movement. I never saw a Sasquatch move like that. They're very confident and they move very smoothly. They're just absolute Mozart the way they move through the wilderness. It is music the way they just flow and bend. It's to track them is absolutely magnificent, just totally magnificent. It's such a pleasure to track them when I have that ability to do that, to see their movement. But so that's a strange thing about the scat. So then you ask me about, well, scat, like mountain lion scat. Oh my god, I don't even touch that stuff anymore. I couldn't get the smell off my finger the one time I touched mountain lion scat. I could just get close to it and I could smell it because they're highly predatory, highly meat eaters. So, and they have that cat stench with their scat. But my point is, though, wolves, bears even, their scat is very stinky when it's got the meat in it. And it's much cleaner when they're eating berries like crazy during berry season, right? So, although I'm very strongly convinced the Sasquatch they have to eat elk and deer, I've never found, on the 4 times I've found scat, I've never found the slightest little bit of meat in them, ever. It's in fact some of the cleanest scat I've ever seen in my life. When I showed it to Survivor Man, and I showed it to another tracker friend of mine, we just couldn't believe it. There's just stuff in there, like there's leaves in there that shouldn't be in there. There was juniper berries that most big animals won't eat. There's just some, it was just totally out there, amazing, very, very original. When I showed it to Survivor Man, I'll tell you, he had no explanation to, first of all, it was just huge. It's absolutely huge. He's like, grizzly bears don't do that. Maybe in Alaska they do, but not out here. The grizzly bears, as you go up to Alaska and as you get coastal, they get enormous. Almost, I'd say 30% bigger, which is huge. When you're talking about a 600-700 pound bear hitting 900 to 1,000 pounds, like the big Kodiaks and the salmon, the big salmon brown bears, and we call them coastal brown bears along the prairies and in the mountains where I live. There's no salmon spawning, or if there are, there's small Kootenai salmon. It's pathetic compared to the ocean spawns. So the bears are much smaller, but they're faster, and they've got this crazy agility, and they're hunters, and they're very predatory. So the grizzly bears, their main source of food would be the marmots and the berries, and they're just opportunists. But the point is, when they're eating berries, it's clean. And sometimes they eat a lot of grass and vegetation. You'll see them doing that, and their scat will be super clean. So I've just never seen, I would love to see some Sasquatch scat that had meat in it, and I've never seen a feather, I've never seen a piece of fur, I've seen nothing but 100% vegetation. But I also haven't really been documenting the time of year either. So I'll tell you, I've never found scat after September in the year. So is that something to do with it? I don't know. There's so much, guys, that I just don't know. But they hide things. What I would like to talk about, though, in that question, though, is he was speaking about, he called them something different. I call them day watchers. He called them sentinels, or what did he say? Detection, meat, perimeter watchers. It's all good. Perimeter watchers. Here's a big reveal, because you guys asked, and when the student is ready, the master will appear. When the student is ready, the question will be asked. The question was finally asked. I've never seen any sign of them defecating anywhere around a day watcher spot, but they have a pee area, because they got to pee. And I know the smell of Sasquatch. The main reason I know what a Sasquatch smells like is when I find a day watcher spot, they have a particular area that is rank with urine smell. Rank. Like they pee there every day. It's a pee spot. So, and it's been in dirty areas, it's been in rock areas, but I know it. When you come across it, eye-watering, oh my God, smell. If I was ever going to teach somebody what a Sasquatch smelled like, that's what I would do. I would take them to that spot. Now, can we get DNA out of urine? I don't know. But I can get those pee spots. I can find those. And that's how I would identify an area. That's one of like 5 criteria. And the rest I'm just going to teach in person, because it's kind of, it's a little bit secretive tracking stuff. And I'll talk to people that I'm mentoring about that. But the reason I'll even talk about it though is when you're getting to an area, the signal's all good, right? Drop frames, everything looks good. If you're getting into an area where you're moving into Sasquatch habitat, you'll need to know that stuff. Most people are not doing that. Most people are having a habituation with the Sasquatch are coming out to them. Totally different method. Totally different than what what I do or did do. Right now, I'm not approaching the Sasquatch in radium. They're coming around to me. It's habituation. So a little bit of both, but mostly habituation. The most success we have is when they come around. Actually, it might even be all the success we have. Do not come over here. I have visitors, visiting pets. Dog comes over here and boom, smash, no internet, crash, computer falls. So I have family visiting today. So yeah, that's so hopefully that explains things really well. Let's get to some questions here. Hello from Michigan, Florida. Isn't it exciting how people, I'll never get over, people from all over the world are on here today. UK, always Amanda's here. There's Roker. Hello all, hello. Let's talk Big House, northern New Mexico. Let's get some questions here. So awesome that you're all here. Thank you so much. Let's ask some questions. I emailed you. Oh, sorry. I'm really behind on my emails and stuff, guys. I'm on. There's going to be a Vice Canada, or the Big Vice in the United States. They were doing a story on me this week, and I just did that interview. Oh, here we go. Why hasn't Sasquatch been captured yet? Oh my God, Elizabeth. Who should say they haven't? By the government. I don't like to do conspiracies and that kind of stuff, but you think the government hasn't had a Sasquatch, right? If you think somebody gets a Sasquatch, the government isn't going to take it over. It's just the way it is. So I've had multiple reports about Sasquatch that have been found dead, captured, all that kind of stuff. I'll tell you why I can't capture one, because they are the dominant species out there and they'd whip my ass. I don't, like, apart from Apache helicopters, thermal drones, and squadrons of Navy SEALs and Rangers and Marines all over the place going to war, to capture one would be killing them. Understand too, Elizabeth, when you see a little baby gorilla and it's brought back, now look at the baby gorilla. Diane Fossey would lose her stuff, go absolutely ballistic, because the whole troop of gorillas would be annihilated. They would all die to defend that offspring. Family, right? If you don't have a family, you might not understand. I have family. I love and adore my children with my whole heart. If somebody came back with someone from my family, I would be lying dead. And I think a lot of us would agree. So if you capture one, you're removing a family member. Do you want to go do that? And I'll tell you, it's no different. Imagine going and taking a grizzly bear sow's cubs without tranking her. You're going to have to shoot her, kill her, and you can't go trank a bunch of Sasquatch. That's never been done. You can't trank them. See, when you get into the reality of it, people have this romantic idea about, oh, just go do this. You don't know the reality of it. You think the people that are tranquilizing bears, they know the weight, they know the metabolism, they have significant experience with these bears before they go tranquilize them. And then they make sure everything's in the right spot at the right moment with the right terrain. There are so many parameters. You have no idea. If you trank a Sasquatch, you don't know how much he weighs, you don't know how fast his metabolism is, and you don't know if he's running up a hill. What if he runs up the mountain and falls asleep and falls off the side of the mountain dead? And then, bears are one thing. Wolves will run away. Mountain lions are solitary like bears. You can go tranquilize them. Go tranquilize a Sasquatch that lives in a family. Boom, I hit one. Oh, let's go get it. No, you don't, because now the family is going to come back and kill you. First of all, you just shot a Sasquatch. They don't know it's a tranquilizer. And when that Sasquatch falls asleep, they don't know he's sleeping. You're going to go to war. So the first one you trank, every other one you're going to need to kill. So you need to go to war with a completely peaceful species that's never harmed me or done anything but mentor and teach me. I have the utmost respect for. Not going to war. If I did go to war, people would die. Sasquatch would die. And that's not my way. I will not do that. Diane Fossey didn't do it that way. Jaden Goodall, Broody Gattigas didn't do it that way. It doesn't have to be done that way. The bonobos are being studied. There's lots of species, wonderful, incredible species are being studied, and they haven't been annihilated and killed for it. So the Skywalker gibbon is a known species. No bodies have ever been taken in because there's too few of them. So we've made that discovery with DNA. We certainly can do that with Sasquatch. So what are some good native Canadian sources to research? That's Joe. You know what you got to do? You got to go into the reserves and earn some people's respect. Give people a call. Go talk to some elders. It's as simple as that. And you'll find they're always going to be somebody very receptive. If you be respectful and, pay for a guide to take you on a hike. Pay for a native guide. They're native. Did you know what? There are native trackers out there that you could go call and pay, and they'll guide you and teach you stuff. Incredible, amazing, indigenous people that have been here for over 20,000 years. Boots on the ground like crazy, culture and spirituality and all these beautiful things about the native people. You can go talk to in the United States, you can go talk to an Apache, a Comanche. They're still there. Go talk to them. Hell, let's start that, Amanda. That's my next business. Is hooking people up with real indigenous trackers from New Mexico, right? The descendants of Apaches and Geronimo and Blackfeet and Cree, and how crazy awesome would that be? And what sucks is I've known many incredible trackers that they're bums. What do? I'm a tracker. That's worthless. It's a worthless job. They don't know how to market themselves. They don't have internet capabilities. And you see these people with their incredible, this beautiful craft that they have, all sorts of crafts, moccasin crafts, beadwork craft, the way they skin and I've seen native women skin moose and elk. It's art, guys. It's an art form that's being lost. Like you see this old native woman, you hang a moose for a while, then you bring it over to her house. She took her shoes off, sliced them, and she had her bare feet, and she was working in and making cuts, and her two daughters, she was just throwing meat at them. Yours, mine, theirs, yours, mine, there. As fast as these girls could wrap meat, this woman just slicing it and cutting it. It was unbelievable. Blood all up to her elbows, using her feet to get right in there and cut, and she'd keep the hide, and then she'd go make things out of it. Oh my God, what beautiful, magnificent art form. It's being lost. So it's despicable. It's totally despicable. But as it's a change, society and technology, and if you saw my video about, I got to talk about this a lot, domestication. Ooh, domestication, being domesticated. How domesticated are you? How domesticated am I? So good questions and scary stuff. So, hey Todd, how you doing? Thank you. I'm doing very well. Barry, hello. Misty. What do we got here? Hello, Todd. All the way from South Texas. Hey, y'all. Everybody in Texas is y'all. What do you think that Sasquatch... Why do you think Sasquatch stinks so much? I think they don't stink so much. Only when they're really upset. So, when they're really upset, or they're not with a family group and they're wandering around looking for females, they want to smell. It attracts females, right? So, I think a lot of these sightings are just people that bump into a lone male who's stinky and looking for females and being aggressive and wanting to fight and stuff, right? So it's territorial stuff, but most don't. The vast majority that I've had I don't smell them most of the time. In fact, 90% of the time I never smell them. They'd be around me. My expeditioners, gosh, even higher than that, because my expeditioners don't catch scent. It's very rare. I think 2 expeditioners out of, I'm up around 30 people I've taken out on expedition. Only 2. The day that Sasquatch was around for Survivor Man, we didn't smell nothing. Every episode of Survivor Man, there's a Sasquatch around. When did you ever hear him say, do you smell that? Never. Jeff Meldrum saw a Sasquatch. John Bitternagel was around when the Sasquatch were there. Not any of them ever said, oh, I smell it. Believe me, I would flip out. There it is, it's a Sasquatch smell. It's a very, very, it's like a mix between like gorilla. It's very gorilla smelling. It's just the way I would explain it. So, Precious One, Sasquatch are known for watching people. So do you think that means they're learning much from us? And like, what would they mimic? I completely agree with you. They absolutely are watching people like crazy. I think we're entertaining. I don't think they're learning from us, though. If they learn anything, learn what not to do, or just be so baffled by. I imagine, like, so I wake up in the morning. There was one morning where a Sasquatch is watching us, and I was aware of it, so I'm up and we're getting ready. and I'm keeping an eye on it. He's just watching us. And I'm thinking, he just rolls right out of wherever he just slept and just goes to do stuff. I gotta eat breakfast, cook breakfast, eat breakfast, clean it all up, pack my backpack, pack my food, get all the water ready after I put my clothes on and brush my teeth and comb my hair and clean my glasses and put my contact lenses in, and then get my cameras all charged up, make sure my batteries are all working, and make sure I have clean underwear, blah, 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 blah. And the Sasquatch just rolled right up and he's gone. I'm quick on my expeditions. Man, we're fast. We can get up and gone in 45 minutes, up and gone. Eaten, food prepared, out. I go out, my expeditioners are a team though. We're monsters. We're making sandwiches, we're eating our food, we're putting stuff away, we're cleaning everything up. So my expeditioners, we are a team. We just go out there and we give her. So, and I'm not there to waste time with chit chat or hanging out or it's get out there, let's go kick some ass. And 45 minutes is still a long time considering a Sasquatch takes no time. He literally rolls up and goes. So I can't even, it's so hard too for this precious one who asked this question. It's so hard too to think the way a Sasquatch thinks because they're so different. I just think they think we're crazy. I just think they're out there going, what the hell? What the hell? He's got to put stuff on his feet? Oh, look, he put a different thing on his feet because it's raining. Look, he put a different coat on today because it's hot. What's that stuff he's rubbing all over his skin? He doesn't understand. I got to put sunscreen on because I don't have any fur and I get sunburned. So, do they know? Oh, that must be so he doesn't get burned? I don't know. Maybe they saw somebody get burned or saw me get burned and I turn red and they go, look, he didn't put the cream on. I don't know. They're so darn intelligent. So darn intelligent. So, but just thinking like a Sasquatch is something I force myself to do very regularly. They don't want to be in open spaces. They love the trees. They love the bush. They love the wilderness. They love to come around at night. They're very comfortable with the opposite of, we like roads and trails. They don't. They stay off the roads and trails. They want to be in the bush and in the trees. They don't want to come out of the trees. So you really have to think when we're quick and we want to get things done and we got to hurry up and do things. They do not think like that. They're calm and patient. Things come to them. They learn sit still and let it all come to you. They learn the first one who makes a sound and gets discovered loses. So they move in extremely patiently. They have nothing but time. Immense amount of times. So I don't know how often a Sasquatch would eat. Daily? Every 2 days? Every 3 days? I don't know. Wolves can do that. Bears can do that. So we have so much to learn. The reason I think that is because native people would do that. They go days without, they just drink water. So there's so much I have no idea, but thinking like a Sasquatch is fun because it's so off the hook. It's so opposite of us. We're these technologically, domesticated beings in this experiment of domestication that we have, and they're just ultimate wilderness perfect. So, and another question she says is, and like what would they, she must be young, precious one, and like what would they, I'm sorry, I'm just joking with you. What would they mimic? I don't think anything. I think they just feel like they don't want to do what we do because we're so insane. We go around and this is what everybody's doing all day. Watch, I'll do this. That's what people do all day now. This is humanity right here. Stare at your little box all day, talk on it, look at it, go what's going on, social insanity, media, and I'm very grateful for social media because it's a wonderful tool that I have to get out there and build a cooperation. So for me, it's a really good tool. I probably, I would, if it was just me, I would have a private Facebook just for sharing and talking to my friends and family. That'll likely never happen though, just because I'm always going to be Todd Standing. I have to accept who I am, what I do, and in 20 years, I want to be able to talk to people about wilderness and Sasquatch. And gosh, when I went to Sweden, guys, there's no Sasquatch in Sweden, so they were talking to me about the wolves, and I was teaching them about the wolves out there. They were doing stuff with the wolves. I was like, don't do that, do this. And they switched their methods, and they couldn't believe it all worked. And I was a big hero in Sweden because of my knowledge of wolves. So, and they love the wolves out there, and so do I. I think very highly of the wolves. I know a lot of people are haters on them. It's disgusting because they're a keystone species. But anyways, I always want to be doing wilderness stuff and hiking and backcountry and wilderness survival and all that stuff. So, and lots of good things coming this year. Rural Creations. Hey, Todd. ROI from Michigan. I don't know what that means, but thank you for the acronym. ROI from Michigan here. Any thoughts on Ivan Mark's documentary? Oh, yeah, I don't know about it. I didn't see it. I've heard about it. He's the Russian guy. I don't like to speculate about stuff. Central Michigan Bigfoot. Did you write to bigfootencounters@gmail.com? Bigfootencounters@gmail.com is where you send any information about Sasquatch. Greetings, Todd and Amanda. Hello. Is Phil on today? Why do they not like coyotes? That's a good question. So, this is all speculation. I'm not sure about this. I think that I was onto a spot where there were Sasquatch bodies. I think I found a spot in Montana. We were getting close. There were signs. There was rocks that were piled up that weren't piled up the year before. There were things were really adding up to that was a potential spot for bodies. We couldn't get onto this land because it was in Montana and people will shoot you if you go on their land. So we were just sort of devised. Eventually I was going to sneak onto the land anyway. I don't really care. But what happened was the coyote got into that rock pile, and this was the most impressive thing I've ever. One of the most impressive things I've ever seen a Sasquatch do. That coyote got a hold of a bone or something, and I don't know if it was from a body or I don't. But I'll tell you, that Sasquatch chased his ass down. If you ever saw a coyote move through the bush and get into some open areas, they can fly, especially when they're terrified. I saw a Sasquatch chasing a coyote like he was on that coyote, and the coyote, the way they move, all over the place. That Sasquatch was pinned to his ass, and he'd whack him, and the coyote would go spinning around. And then I remember seeing him drop whatever in his mouth, and the coyote took off again. The Sasquatch let him. I was trying to film this. I'm looking up, trying to forget about footage. I can't believe how fast they were going. And the coyote would get its footing, and then spin off and start running again, full speed, and the Sasquatch would run him right down, right up on his ass. It was like this controlled. He's moving, let's say, I don't know, 35 miles an hour, and he controllably gets right up on this coyote's ass. Like it's not human to be able to do that. It's insane. No man in the world could run that fast. And the Sasquatch ran up on him, controlled him, whacked him. Not killed him, whacked him again, teaching him a lesson. He was pissed right off at that coyote. And there have been a couple other times in my career where I've seen coyotes go into Sasquatch habitat and run out of there with their tail between their legs, squealing like the devil is chasing them. And, because I just don't think the Sasquatch like them. I don't know why. I haven't seen them do that with wolves. Wolves seem to be pretty in tune to stay out of Sasquatch habitat. And coyotes are sneaky and, a little conniving and maybe a little risk-taking. And they're very, very, very intelligent beings. So I was actually going to make a living killing coyotes, but I couldn't do it. I love dogs. What happened was I was working for a government agency, a municipality, with tons of coyote problems. And they gave me a permit to go shoot them, use a bow in close to rural areas, close to the city, on the city outskirts. And I did. I killed 3 coyotes in one night, and it was they were giving me like $120 a coyote. So in one night, that was $360, and I was like, shit, that's not bad money for like 5 hours worth of work. But I couldn't do it. I don't have the heart for it. It's not. I love animals a lot, and they're like a lot like dogs. And when I would kill them, even double long heart puncture, the buggers would squeal, and it was really hard on me, and the blood smell and I don't know, I'm just not good for that stuff. I'm very domesticated, so I've killed a deer hunting. I was a little okay with that. Maybe just affinity I have for dogs. I love my dog. My girl's like family. I've had dogs my whole life, and just hearing them squeal and stuff, I had nightmares about it for a long time, and just I'm not built that way. I'm not a very good. There are people that have this like ability to hunt and kill, and they're really good at it, and I just am not like that. I'm very very nonviolent. I'm very peaceful, and I've been a doorman. I've studied martial arts half of my life, but I'm professionally trained in self-defense, and just because I really don't want to harm people. I studied jujitsu because I don't like punching people, especially in the face. I don't like doing that stuff. So I'm very I'm a very domesticated guy. I love to laugh. I like to be gentle, and it's just my mannerism. That's why even to go kill a Sasquatch, could you imagine? It broke my heart to go kill coyotes. You know, people kill wolves like crazy, and they just don't they just couldn't care less. They feel good about it. The pests, they go kill them, and I just think they're beautiful species that are so keystone, so important, so magnificent, so majestic, and I will not get that out of my head. But you know, a lot of hunters are like that too. They love the deer and the elk and the moose. They adore them. So, but they can go hunt them and do that, and so I have a lot to learn. Hey, Ashley, from Washington. I just sent you an email. I got your email address. I'll send you those things that you asked for. Subject line said Central Michigan Bigfoot. Maryland, have you ever seen their eyes glow red or go invisible? I've never seen their eyes glow red. I don't believe their eyes glow red. I've seen Sasquatch eyes in the dark many times, never red. But they could be red if you shine a white light at them. That would change it, right? So maybe if you see them, if you have a flashlight or you're in the headlights of your vehicle, perhaps it would be red. I've never seen a Sasquatch on the road, on a highway, with light. Never. Not even close. If you get that kind of success, it's extremely rare and good for you. Of course it's going to happen. My method is not drive around for 20 years and see a Sasquatch once. My method is repeatable and out there and making deductions and making things happen over and over. So we don't shine. Man, somebody shines a light in the face of a Sasquatch, that is going to really upset them. It does, and it really damages the expedition. If you shine a light in the face of a Sasquatch, they are going to be very upset with you, and it's going to damage your habituation. So this is something I know. I've seen it. Hey, Amanda, emailed you yesterday. No rush. Answer when you can. This is from Mason, Bigfoot, Sylvanic Co-op. Joe Schimo, when's the last time you saw one? In the fall of 2019. I have footage, and it's not great footage, but the encounter is it's crazy. It's totally crazy. I don't know what I'm going to do this year, because for me to, like video 8 and video 7 in my movie, I was planning to do that for years. That was a plan. And I have dozens of plans, but that was like my coup de grace plan. All the planning, everything, and that day I got 2 videos. I got the thermal, and I got the thermal, video 7, and video 8, the very fast blinking Kubota Sasquatch. Kubota is his name. And we have lots to talk about with Kubota, guys. The Sasquatch Sunday and the Throwback Thursdays, I'm going to start talking, because Kubota is deep stuff is going on with Kubota. Because I didn't name him Kubota. Wait till I tell you about his name and how he got named, and it's pretty amazing. So it's coming up. I have goosebumps right now just thinking about it. But it'll be really cool stuff. So there's lots of stuff to come, guys. You might hear toys squeaking in the back and stuff. I just have family. There's little kids here. I'm a big family guy. I love children a lot. I've seen dogs shuffle poop. Cool. Seen trees pushed over. This is from Christopher Shepard. Seen trees pushed over about every 100 yards in the woods pointing the same direction. Here in Florida, not much woods there. Maybe it's a way they travel. I don't think so, Christopher. The trees that you pushed over every 100 yards, if you're seeing them and they're close to a human trail, they're done for people. Big difference between Sasquatch making marks for themselves or for Sasquatch, and Sasquatch making marks for people. And they know. If you're anywhere near a trail, I'm getting called right now. You hear Uncle in the background. You really got to try to think like a Sasquatch. Really, really try. Because they're so smart, guys. Don't think of them like, I know, like whitetail bucks and different animals, they'll leave, scratch marks and rubs and stuff. But you can't think like hi. I'm an uncle, so hi. Yes, we got a little baby boy over here. Trying to do my show. Anyway, so just do not think like animals. Do not think like other things that you've known, because hopefully my show doesn't get ended here. Hi, kiddo. Why don't you come see me? Come see me. Just really, really, really think outside of primates. Think more like you're working with people is the best way. Intelligent wilderness people. Do you understand how important that is? They're not domesticated people. They're wild people. Highly intelligent. Their working intelligence is going to be significantly smarter than ours. As I've shown in videos about chimpanzees. Chimpanzees working intelligence is far superior to human beings. It's mind-blowing how smart they are. Look it up on YouTube. Chimpanzee versus human. So Sasquatch are going to be the same thing. So you're dealing with a being. When you're in the wilderness and you're in an emergency situation, you're going to be outsmarted. You're going to be outdone. I don't know how else to put it. I don't give a shit how much hunting skills you have. I don't care. You've spent probably 90% of your life, if you're an amazing, some incredible hunter that's outdoorsy as hell, what do you spend 50% of your life outside in the bush? Like sleeping in the dirt, on the ground. They never leave. They never put shoes on. They never get out of the elements. They're always there. Unless they're in a cave, and that's still out there. People live in cabins, and people have guns, and people have technology and start fires. They don't do any of that stuff. So it's really important that you wrap your head around what you're dealing with. If you start thinking like a person, you're done. It's over. And they're not interested in your stuff. They fear technology. They fear because technology has made us insane. Technology has made us... This is all we do now. For goodness sake, I'm 40 years old, and I see people 67 years old staring stunned at their phone. It's all about this, and I'm going to share it and chat, and that's all fine and good and all. Just, you got to understand how different. It's so immensely different. They're just, in fact, opposites of us. We're technology, they're wilderness. It's opposites. It's fascism and communism, and it's hard for a communist to think like a fascist. It's hard, black and white. Technology and wilderness, opposites. So when you learn to work harder and rush and get things done, and that's how you get advanced, that it's the opposite of that in the wilderness. You do things quickly and you die. You don't listen, you don't pay attention, you don't move slowly, you're not cautious, you die in the wilderness. You must understand this. Anybody who's crazy and doing all this stuff and doesn't listen, dead. You don't live. You get killed. You fall off a cliff. You get eaten by a bear. Done. You must shut up. You must be patient. And this is how they live and die. And they do have laws of nature that we don't have. Survival of the fittest. Right? My baby girl was born prematurely and was put on oxygen. She wouldn't have survived. She's domesticated. So I make no apologies for that because I love and adore my daughter with all my heart. But she wouldn't be around. She may not have survived without the advancements of medical technology. I think she would have. But anyways, she's tough, awesome. My little girl. Mark it on your calendar, people. She's only 2. One day, she'll be far more famous than me. So she's going to be something special. She is something really special and amazing. She will one day outshine her daddy very, very much so. Joseph Michaels, Todd, can you tell us about Bigfoot's teeth? Are they like gorilla or more human-like? Oh, sheesh. Man, I have so little knowledge of their teeth. Oh my goodness. Let me think. I saw Jake's teeth once. Yeah, a lot like mine. Yeah, flat, and the canines. I remember his lip was up a little bit, and I could see how can I do this? So Jake is looking at me, and it was like his teeth kind of couldn't hide. And I remember seeing flat across the bottom and then the pointy outsiders. And the teeth looked really small compared to his head. And they looked worn down and small. So, do mine look worn down and small? Yeah, you know what? The proportions are the same. I'm remembering. Yeah, the proportions are the same. His lip was a little strange. It almost looked like he couldn't really cover his teeth. Because his lip was too short for it. Looked that way. Doesn't mean it was that way. Because he might have been a little like, God damn, you're a dumbass. Because I was being a dumbass. the time I saw, the only time I vividly saw Sasquatch's teeth, it was Jake's teeth, and a grizzly bear was tracking me to kill me, and it was stalking it behind me, and Jake was trying to get me to turn around, say, look at the bear that's going to kill you, dumbass, and I was filming him. And I remember looking, I didn't even look up at him, I just looking through the viewfinder thinking, oh my god, there's his teeth, there's his lip, there's his movement, and then his head would move, and I'd pull back a little bit, and just I got the most incredible, sickest footage. So when people tell me, I've talked about this many times before, so I'm not going to go into detail about it, but when people ask me, is there ever a piece of footage that can prove Sasquatch is real? That day, that was the footage. No one was ever going to doubt it, and I've done it before, and I can do it again. And just quickly, so people understand, since we brought it up, a grizzly bear came charging at me from behind. That's why the Sasquatch was out. I was in river that was flowing pretty fast, spun around, dropped my camera while it was recording in water that flows about 15 miles an hour, slipping, falling, reaching for my gun. The bear should have killed me. I should be dead. But that's the day I saw his teeth. They were very human-like. I don't know much about gorilla teeth, though. I haven't really studied that, because gorillas are so... they eat so much. You know, and the gorillas have those big and I didn't see that. I saw flat teeth that were smaller. Yeah, very flat across. I just remembering it. I didn't see any bottom teeth. I just saw top. And the incisors were small, like mine. Can you see that? See, I had these pointy ones like that. Yeah, very similar to mine in shape. So I mean, you also have to take into consideration how big his head is. So, you know, people are talking about my Throwback Thursday is going to be to do with the eyes of Sasquatch a little bit, because they're comparing my head and other people's heads in there, which is just totally ridiculous. Hi, honey. I'm doing a live show right now. So, but anyway, just what's cool is, be careful where you're stepping. If you want to come see me, you can. So what's really cool is the Sasquatch's eyes are big, like so much bigger. I remember, just step over that cord. I remember seeing their eyes, like Jake's eyes, and even though his head is enormous, his eyes are just, they weren't small, and his eyes look small in comparison. This is my little niece. This is my little niece. What's the matter, honey? So we're talking about Sasquatch. Remember how Uncle does Sasquatch research? Do you know Uncle has a Sasquatch movie? Yeah? Do you think Sasquatch are real, honey? Yeah? Or do you think Sasquatch are scary?
No.
No? Do you want to see one someday?
Yeah.
You do? How come?
Because
why?
they scare me.
They scare you?
Yeah.
I think you would. You know what? See, I have a little boy, and I've taken him out into Sasquatch habitat a few times. You know Thaden, my son?
Yeah.
Yeah, we love Thaden, right?
Yeah.
And man, when you get out in the bush, oh god, guys, it's freaking scary. That's why people aren't doing this. It's really scary. It's scary with the bears. It's scary with the mountain lions. Having a little one out, you become extra protective, and it's really hard. Are you gonna go? You want to go out and do other stuff?
Yeah.
I love you. Watch out. Step over that cord, okay? Otherwise, the whole show's over. But I can't do it. I can't take children out. I'm no good for the research. There you go, just right over that cord. I just turned into a basket case because I'm so concerned about their safety. And if you can do that, you're braver than I am. My children are so important to me. My expeditioners are very important, but I can have my game face on. I can have my protective instinct where it's game face. If I think of something happening to a child, oh man, and I see that stuff, eh? I see, what scares me is bears and wolves and mountain lions. They love to kill babies. Oh, they love that. They kill little baby deers. And when I see baby deer, people go, oh, look how cute. I go, oh yeah, they'll be dead in a week. Because it's true. I'm gonna be real about it. Look at the mama deer with her 3 babies. I go, 3? One will be dead today. They're so beautiful, but bears love that squealy sound they make. And so the wilderness it's very raw, guys. It's very brutal. It's very, bears love to kill babies. They love to kill baby elk, baby moose. They kill them like crazy. I've seen it so many times. Oh, it's been traumatized. I'll tell you a little thing just that really scared the hell out of me. So I'm walking down a game trail way in the back country, way out in the middle of nowhere. And it's nice to find a game trail because it's a Bighorn Sheep's game trail. So I'm walking along this game trail, moving very slowly, very cautiously, and I feel a little something's watching me kind of thing, and indeed there's a moose, a cow moose. So she comes down, let's say to my right. So she comes down looking at me, and she's got a calf, beautiful male calf. He's pretty big. He must be a year old. He's not as big as his mom, but he's a good size, and he looks like a male because he's so thick. And so the mom comes down and looks at me and says, "Whoa!" And she stood off against me, and I go, "Whoa, chill out, girl. I'm no threat to you." So I back off a little bit, and she's cool with that. She sees that I'm backing off. So the little male on the other side of her goes down the trail that I was just moving down. He gets about 5 yards down the trail, and this monster black bear comes right out of the bush, hits him, and rips him into the bush. And I hear this bull moose. Well, it's not a bull moose, a young moose. I see his legs in the air, and he's squealing because this bear's got him by the throat, and he's tearing him apart, and this moose is squealing, and his legs are up in the air, and the mom's like, she can't do anything. This is a 500-pound black bear's got this moose, and I was walking down that trail. I was moving in that direction. So what would happen to me, I don't know. But it's these things that's why you move cautiously. You move carefully through wilderness, man. And believe me, I learned a freaking huge lesson that day. So I studied that area. I saw what that to look for and how to maneuver and really even trust in your instincts. I think that's what it really means to become a real wilderness expert, is your instincts just skyrocket through the roof. I can tell you when a mountain lion's stalking me. I can tell you when bears are stalking me now. I do it all the time. I got to have my expeditioners start testifying to this stuff. They've seen things that are impossibly, that I'm clearly correct. That is definitively a mountain lion that was stalking us, and I'll prove it. And there's no way I have pet mountain lions running around trying to attack, stalking me at certain times. And you have to move differently, and you have to react differently, and it's even more so with Sasquatch. So can you imagine? I'm domesticated. I'm a dumbass little white pig that's in a domesticated situation to be slaughtered in one of those pig factories, and the wild pigs are far more advanced, far more suited. They don't have color changes. They're smarter. They're survival of the fittest kind of thing. And I'm still starting to get a bit of it. My point is, can you imagine the level of Sasquatch is? And the answer is no, you can't. You cannot imagine it. You cannot understand. People look so stupid. You look like ignorant to the level of moron, like total moronity, when you get out of a goddamn truck with your gun to go shoot a Sasquatch, and you think they don't know? You think you're gonna get anywhere near them? You are a freaking moron. Going out there with your gun, you're gonna get one? I just see complete idiot moron, like you have no idea. You're completely domesticated, completely suffering from severe domestication syndrome, going out to take on one of the most incredibly advanced species that's ever lived in the wilderness, probably the most advanced, that cooperates and moves together and is highly intelligent, highly in tune, and highly connected, and highly knowledgeable. You're going to go take them on? You're going to go verse them? Yeah. I'm going to go send a 5-year-old into the UFC ring and take on Stipe Miocic, the heavyweight champion of the world, versus a 5-year-old. I'm going to bet on Stipe every time. So I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. But you have no respect for the power you're dealing with if you think you can just go down and get a gun and get one. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. And that's why a lot of times I feel that go let them try to hunt them. What the hell? You're gonna lose. That's so much education needs to come into play with this. People are gonna die. You don't go take on a Sasquatch. They're just gonna evade you though. That's the thing, is you're so ignorant to what's going on. You think you can go bag yourself a Sasquatch? Come on. You're gonna die. So you just I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anybody. I think hunters are amazing. I've learned a tremendous amount from hunters. Hunters are amazing. Rephrase, are amazing. Amazing. They work so hard. They're devoted. I admire them and I respect hunters. But you don't go hunt a Sasquatch. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. Let me have a sit down with you. I've done it many times. 10 times in my life I've sat down with hunters and trackers and all these people that were going to go bag a Sasquatch. After they talk to me, they go, yeah, you're right. It's preposterous. I'm not going to go do that. Not one time has there ever been a situation where I didn't convince intelligent human beings, and when they're complete twits, I don't worry about it, because you're not going to get near us. They know what guns are. They know what rifles are. They see hunters. They know what guns can do. They a lot of times I hear about a lot of respect for hunters, admiration for hunters. They're hunters. Hunters love the wilderness. Hunters love their quarry. Sasquatch are going to love you. They love their quarry too. They also eat the deer just like you want to. So there's a lot of hunters that they're just, but then a trophy hunter, what are they going to think? Why are you killing that old nasty deer? Why are you cutting its head off and taking the worst meat of the worst edible animal and taking the worst part? The Sasquatch, that's insane. That doesn't make any sense. That's what trophy hunters do. And again, no disrespect for trophy hunters. All the power to you. Go trophy hunt. Pay your bills. Be legal. Whatever. I don't. People. There's a thing about that. There's some lion that some dentist shot. Just an old lion, and I don't know. The dentist, some guy shot him. Whatever. The guy's a hunter. People were all up in arms about it. Yeah, you ever seen that lion kill a gazelle? You ever seen that lion kill a zebra? Babies, tear them apart. That was a merciful way to die, being shot. That lion doesn't kill animals mercifully. He tears them apart, and they die slowly and painfully. So I can see other sides that people don't get. Lions aren't nice little sweet things. They're predators. You ever seen them in a pile? Like they'll kill and start eating a zebra while it's still squealing and alive. So that's why you fear the dark. That's why we are afraid of monsters, because lions and bears and mountain lions and wolves are monsters to deer and elk and zebras. Monsters that will kill you horribly, tear you apart. Watch Discovery Channel. You'll see it. So when you see that stuff in real life, you feel it. So I know in a lot of places, especially in the U.S., there are no more grizzly bears. Black bear populations are low. Black bears are terrified of people because in the U.S. people carry guns like crazy, and the animals are intelligent enough to know you stay away from people or you're going to get filled full of lead. It's a little different in Canada because we don't have guns here so much. We have gun laws, and there's certain places you're not allowed to carry them, and that's the way it is. So I actually don't agree with that too. I think if you're doing wilderness stuff, if you're going back country, you should be allowed to. There should be like some $300 gun course, and you should be able to go take your gun with you. Because there are times where it's me versus a bear, and he ain't gonna leave, and one of us is gonna die. What do I do? Pull out a knife or bear spray him? Yeah, that's not gonna work. So it is live or die, and I'm the one that's gonna live. So that's what I have to say about that. Red eyes equals carrots. G'day from New Zealand. Hello, Casey. Hello, Todd. Kendra says, hello from Washington State, Olympic Peninsula. God bless. Thank you. Very nice. And, it's a hard time with the virus and stuff right now. I hope you all are doing real well. Julie S., have you had any spiritual dreams while on expedition? Like Survivor Man dreaming that a Sasquatch was sitting on him? Well, he wasn't dreaming. A Sasquatch sat on him. So no doubt about it. The Sasquatch have sat on me like that. But what happened was the Sasquatch rock knock. And Les is sleeping very deeply, didn't wake up. The Sasquatch will walk right past him. And Les is snoring, sleeping, and he won't wake up. They do this to me too. And then the Sasquatch will walk right over top of him, maybe give him a little bump, and he won't wake up. So then the Sasquatch will walk up to him, squat down, put his bum on him, rub around a little bit, and go, are you awake now? Are you awake now? And then when Les went, the Sasquatch, it'll be like a walk by where he'll walk up, squat, rub his bum, and walk off. It's just to try to wake him up. They do that. They've done it to me. They did it to me. The reason I know this is they did it to me once. So I recorded myself. What I got, not once, I think it was even 2 or 3 times. I'm like, what am I losing my mind? Is that bloody Sasquatch? Like, because I sleep as deep as Survivor Men. Survivor Men and I are deep sleepers at night. When you're up and you're getting that oxygen, the fresh air, we just sleep. Sometimes I sleep pretty deeply, I'm not going to lie. But anyways, yeah, so it happened to me a couple times, multiple times. And then what I did is I recorded myself sleeping. I had my partner at the time recorded me while I was sleeping where I was snoring. Then I played that, and the Sasquatch did it. They rock knocked, and I just kept pretending, playing that audio recording of me sleeping. And then the Sasquatch walked right past me. I couldn't believe it. It only happened to me once. Walked right past me, and then he walked right over top of me. Oh, can you imagine that? A Sasquatch walked right over top of me. And then about half an hour later, letting those snoring sounds, believe me, I was not sleeping. I was like, I was wide awake. It's like a freaking, and no smell. No smell. He wasn't upset at all. And then he walked up, squatted down, rubbed his bum on me. That was it, though. When that happened, I was like, I was okay letting him, when he walked over me, it was like it just came out of nowhere. Just like a ghost out of the darkness. Like you hear, you go, did I just, so imagine this, I'll do it in real time. This is what's happening in my head. Did I just, what just happened? I go, did I just hear a sound? And it's a Sasquatch putting his foot right beside my blanket, or right beside my sleeping bag, stepping over me, and me going, he just went over me, and gone. Boom, boom. And no sound. Just smooth. Right over me, right into the bush. I have goosebumps right now thinking about it. And then when he squatted and he sat and he just rubbed his bum a little bit. It's like, wake up, wake up. Oh my God. I kicked the sleeping bag. I was like, yeah. And then I've never done that again. Maybe I should try that again, right? Yeah, maybe I should try that again. But I kind of have a feeling for when it's going to happen too. I would have known I should have told less about it, but it's nice to let things happen organically, right? And I only found out about that when he played the show. He aired the freaking show, and I'm like, Les, they do that. I don't even think I talked to him about it briefly, but he just kind of shrugged it off. But I was like, dude, they do that. I wish he'd have told me that when he came down. He just thought it was kind of weird that, I was having a dream and a Sasquatch sat on me. They do that. So, yeah, pretty amazing stuff. They are timid, skittish. Yeah, well, this is Tim This is the Web Puzzler. I know the Web Puzzler. I know you. Very timid. Like speaking about domestication, they could never domesticate wolves, or not wolves, moose. Undomesticatable because they're always skittish. Zebras, undomesticatable because they're skittish and timid. And that's a survival thing because they are prey, and that's how they survive, is having anxiety, being skittish, being timid, and being nervous all the time. So, that's it's a survival thing, and probably why a lot of people have it. Paul Duckworth, have you ever researched why the government would hide the facts? Well, just the money, Paul. There you go. There's your answer. What happens when there's an indigenous people? Oh, they get land rights? Oh, you can't log there anymore? You can't strip mine? You can't go for oil? You can't do natural gas? You can't log? Money, 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 money. And if you don't think it's that way, it's money, dude. And it is a big problem. Let's even look at this from, let me tell you something. All those people that are loggers and do their whole, the whole livelihood is based on logging or, whatever, checking the natural gas pockets. We can make this discovery without damaging industries. In the Nordegg area, there was somebody chirped up, chirp, chirp, chirp. There's a grizzly bear problem in the population. So I think it was like 4 years. They stopped all industry in there. People lost their jobs. Families lost their homes. I'm not okay with that. So, and they know about grizzly bears. They have a significant knowledge of grizzly bears, and they still shut everything down for 4 years to make sure the grizzly bear population was okay. At the end of it, it's okay. Resume. Too late. People have died. People that bought trucks. People that have families moved away. They didn't want to do that, but they lost their jobs. So I have a house. I have wood. There's wood. There's wood frame on that painting right there. So wood is beautiful. I love wood. I wish they'd slow down their logging a little bit. I hope that we could recycle and stop using so much. I do have a little bit of a problem with logging, but at the same time, I have wood and people need their jobs. So what I'm trying to say is Sasquatch does not have to shut down industry. We can make this discovery, give them their area, and still do what we do. They're logging in Sasquatch habitat already. They always do. But it would be nice if we could figure out a better way to coexist. So Maceman says, hey Todd, do you think Sasquatch would make their domiciles in the center of their territory? Yeah, but what's center, you know? I would say less of center and more advantageous terrain around them, if that makes sense. They want to have a spot where it's just like tremendously. So I wouldn't look at centers. I would look at impossible terrain to get to. Here's a lot. This is the last thing I'm going to talk about today, guys, because this is going to take a few minutes. I'm quite convinced that the Sasquatch in Radium, I think I know where their spot is. I don't think they have day watchers. I don't think they need it. They are literally, there's a mountain. Let's say this is the mountain, and it's just steep all the way around. And there's trees on top of it. There's like a whole little ecosystem here. Let's say this is about, let's say, square. Let's say a mile by a mile. There's a spot like that I've seen in Radium. I think that's where they are. And I don't think they need day watchers there. Why would you? Nobody's coming up there. People can walk right up. This is a thousands of feet climb. They would see you coming miles away. I don't even know how to get up that mountain. But they have a whole little spot up there. And I think that's where they survive. I'd like to film it, but then now I just talked about it. So now I can't film it. Because I'm pretty convinced that's where they are. And that would create some real difficulties. So the Radium Sasquatch they just have day watchers on top of mountains, and it's just in two spots because their spot is so my point is, look for like a spot that's just so hard to get to. That's what they're going to do. You're dealing with a species that lives in the harshest, most difficult environments and does everything they can to stay away from civilization and have their own privacy. Like I'm looking at this area that I saw. Man, I've seen it so many times. I've looked at, and you know, honestly, you know why I think they're there? Because I feel it. I think about that spot right now, and just goosebumps just shoot up the back of my spine, like, whoa, because I just feel like there's a Sasquatch looking at me through those trees, and I can't see it, and I've never seen any evidence to substantiate that. There's no tree breaks up there. There's no tree structures. I've never seen anything like that. I've never been over there. I just look at it from another mountain, way off in the distance. And I zoom in with my camera, and I've spent hours looking there. I can feel it that they're there. And that's not good science. That's terribly irresponsible science. But I've never found their home spot in Radium, and believe me, I've been everywhere. I've been all over the place. My main area where I filmed the majority, video 4 on, have all been filmed in Radium. I never found their home area, and I think that's why. So, you know, I've found day watcher spots in Radium, but they're right on each side of this spot that's close to the middle. There's never going to be anything like, when you're dealing with wilderness centers, is what the hell does that even mean to them? The center is the centers. You're thinking like a person. Think about the strategical advantage to being there. Think about it that way. Art of war stuff, where it'd be the best place to hide. You're going after the hide and seek world champion. Where's the best place to keep your family? Even think like that. You got a family? You love your family? Where are you going to keep them? It's perfectly safe. And they can climb like chimpanzees can't climb as good as a Sasquatch. So, and that's saying a lot. That's a freaking bold statement. That's how incredible I believe they can climb, especially when they're younger. So, and they'll probably have a spot where it's a little easy. They'll know every inch of that mountain. They'll know how to get up easy. They'll know the easier way up. I haven't found it yet. I haven't really done much. I'm scared to go over there, to be honest. So I don't want to upset the big guy. If I went over there and the big guy's there and he got upset with me, he could tell his crew, his family, to stay away from me. No more research, no more. I'm on a razor going, I want to go over there, but I don't want to wreck. If I went over there and upset them, what if they moved away? They lost their home. A-hole. You don't go pick up a baby bird in its nest. Now the mom will never touch it, right? You're dealing with very, very sensitive stuff. If I went over there, I would definitely upset. If you know what? If a Sasquatch came to my house and was popping his head in through my daughter's window, that's not a good thing. No, I don't want that. No. I don't want him in my house. I don't want him coming around looking at my house. This is my home. Give me that. So I give them that, and it's that respect that I'm getting such incredible interactions. You know, over 40% of people that came out with me last year saw a Sasquatch. Over 40%. So 4 people in 10, there's a Sasquatch, right? And then, you know, over 80% had a live interaction. So less than like 18% of people went home with having had no live interaction and no sighting. And it was very much due to weather and we were talking about earlier, shining the light in the face. I think that had something to do with it. So there's a lot going on, guys. This is a big deal. So laughing at Todd's reaction. Yeah. So anyways, thanks so much for tuning in. I think this was a good, help me give him a whoop. You want me to whoop? Just watch one of my shows. I whoop in those shows a lot. So thanks so much for tuning in, you guys. And I hear this a lot, like, saying wonderful things and that I'm brave and that stuff. Thank you very much. But remember, I'm one of our species, so I'm not doing anything special. I'm not doing anything that anybody else can't do. And I say that because I really want help. I want to encourage people like SoCal Forest Ninja and Mason Sylvanic Cooperation. I want you guys to know you can do. There's nothing Mason, Bigfoot, Sylvanic. You guys can do anything I do. What's special about me? There are things that I do have special abilities, but so do you that are better. You just, I'm maybe a little stronger, but you got better endurance. Better endurance is more important. Being 6'3" and 200, and I'm comfortable I do my expeditions at about 220. It's very lean, but that's not good endurance. Survivor Man, he's like 5'10", and he's probably 190. Man, that guy would kill me in survival endurance, and that's what's important, is endurance and survival. Couldn't do his TV shows because the man is an endurance monster, and that's so important. So maybe I could bench more than him, but he could out endure me. And that's really the most advantageous thing. I've just chosen to. I had an expeditioner fall off a log crossing a river last year, and I grabbed a hold of him and picked him back up and put it on it. So my strength and my power that I work for, if you see me on Instagram, I'm lifting big heavy rocks and I'm working. I do have good endurance, but it's kind of like CrossFit that I do, because I want to have good power. Because if somebody falls off a ledge or slips somewhere, that, if I wouldn't have been strong enough, that man would have died when he hit the river. So I dove right in there, and then my Iceman training took off. I was in a river that's flowing at least 20 kilometers an hour, 15 miles an hour, freezing ice cold water. I had to stand in that river and help him for 2 minutes. I'd have frozen. There's a point you get to where you can't feel your feet anymore, and you can't hold yourself on the rocks, so you're unable to stand any longer because you're losing the ability to move your legs and your feet, and you fall and you die, and it's over. And I couldn't help him, and I was literally there for 2 minutes, lifting him, holding him, taking him down the log. I wouldn't have been able to survive that without my Iceman training. So now Wim Hof, thank you very much, the famous Iceman. I'm doing his training, which I highly recommend. It's amazing. And all the great athletes in the world are all doing ice baths, and I take it to another level with ice training. And it's been really, I'm Canadian. I love the cold. I take that cold. I eat that stuff up. But I've had hypothermia, and the Iceman training took me to a whole other level of awesome, and really may have saved somebody's life this year because of that skill that I've been training for. So it's, I'll tell you, every little millimeter, every inch matters, guys, with this kind of stuff. And you just do what you do and take advantage of all your there's special things about you. I'm not an empath. I have empaths. I have multiple empaths coming out this year because those senses are not amazing right now. So it's such a rich discovery process, and we all have enormous advantages. Look at the women, Broody Gattigas, Jane Goodall, and my hero, Diane Fossey. Oh, and Jane Goodall's a hero of mine. Heroes, women that made the discovery of chimpanzees, gorillas, and orangutans, brought it to the masses and took that research to another level. They're women, just beautiful, amazing, wonderful women. It wasn't a man. It was woman all three times. So we all have our amazing stuff. We all have our greatness. Just find out. Go shine your own way, right? So awesome show today, guys. Thank you for all the amazing questions. You guys take good care. I'll be back next Wednesday. I don't see any reason. What I'm going to do is when I start expeditions, and I'm doing expedition recon right now, so I'll probably do 2 shows a month, because what I do is I'll be gone 2 weeks of the 4. So I'll be out in the bush for 2 weeks a month and back for 4 weeks. I'd also like to... There's a chat room after. go to the chat room today, guys. I've got children and dogs running around here. I'm crazy busy, and I have lots of emails. There's 3 emails for people that are on today. I'm going to get back to you tonight. We're going to talk. I got some chatting to do with people you know who you are today on the show. And anyways, but go to the chat room. Chat rooms are awesome. It's cooperation, guys. It's enormously important you cooperate. And go talk some big stuff. Amanda will be on there. Phil, thank you so much for watching the show today. And Phil and Amanda, if you tell them stuff, it's coming to Todd Standing. Those people are right and left arms. So important, and we could always use more help. We're expanding and growing. So you guys are awesome. Next week, I'll try to do the questions on Facebook before I come here, because I love those awesome questions I'm getting on Facebook. And you guys take care, and we'll see you next week. Oh, and there'll be Throwback Thursday is going to be good. I'm a little excited about it, so it's going to be fun. It's going to be good. So